Hi everyone, and welcome to this 31st weekly market analysis. Here is Francois Ablé. Hope that you're doing very well. So now each Monday you will find me through this new format of financial program of Global Street Trader Academy, which is like the same as usual each Monday that we find each other to study all the asset and major asset for financial market. We study the technical analysis first time, but now we will also check quickly like a kind of highlight or like a fundamental analysis too, because like before I just like doing two broadcasts on the Monday on the English and French on the Tuesday, but now I'll just put together in Monday and will be recorded in English. My name is Francois Ablé. I hope that you're doing very well again. I'm very happy to find you this financial broadcast. So please feel free to ask me any type of question below this video. Share to your friend, and also put a like just to encourage me to continue this type of educational and quality content for day trader or retail trader too. You can find me through Facebook, YouTube channel, Pinterest, Twitter, Google Plus, and also TradingView, right? On the banners of GST Academy. And my pseudo on that is Frank Belfort, or you can find me also over Twitter. Great. So let's jump on that. So of course, disclaimer before starting any type of comment. So features equity, ETF option, CFD, and other derivative are used to trading have a great potential reward. So you have to be aware of the risk and to not put your money that you can afford to lose, unfortunately. So, and again, this program is neither a solicitation nor incentive for people to buy or sell any type of product. Okay, great. So weekly market analysis for 31st in October. So you take account into 21st, like today until 26th. So at the end of the week. So as usual, as I said before, for the summary of presented asset, we will see USD CAD, Dow Jones Gold, Eurobond, and that would be on like that will be very quickly because I don't want like make long this financial program because I have a couple of things to share to you. So we will check very quickly the technical charts, and after that I will present you the a fundamental recap. Then you can have you can take a note if you want because that's why I read it, and you can have some like a clear vision of the market as a technical and also as a fundamental analysis, right? So let's jump to the charts. Okay. So here is the sorry, here is the US dollar index. So before to starting any type of study, it's very important to see to take a look on US dollar index, which is our technical compass and also fundamental compass. So as we see here on the US dollar index, he's on a lateralization of channel since 1986, right? So this is a very long time progression. So it's an historical progression, has been long for probably 32 years. And also whenever we look, we saw like kind of upsurging since 2008. We saw kind of a long movement progression on the US dollar index. And now since several times since, let's say, 2017, we also saw kind of lateralization is between on the fork, right? So as we here, you see here, I already told you that, guys, that I'm still bearish on the long term on the US dollar index, because you know that the president uh, don't want to see the dollar, like, upsurging, and also the Fed struggle with that, right? And of course, if we getting into a recession or like a financial crisis, we need to have a low dollar. Then we can, doing kind of like um, easing policy, like to inject a lot of quantity of money on financial markets. So that explains why my vision to be bearish on the US dollar index. And if you looking carefully, like on the close, you probably seen, like, if you take a look on the close channel, you probably see that we doing kind of we close right there, right? It's doing like a top, and after that we struggling, and we lateralizing here, probably to looking for what is like the typically direction that we can take to evolve on the probably the top or not. But as long as we stuck here and not probably seeing the dollar going forward. Of course, in intraday, we're doing some like a new high, some session, trading session. But at the long time, if you look it back, we just doing nothing. We just stay here and we looking where the market could probably go. So the signal for the dollar index will be clearly if we break here. If you break here, we're probably going to test this median for on the fork, and after that, we probably, if you break it, it will be a kind of short of US dollar index. And you probably seen here that we have some of a bias threat of the dollar as a conditional, as a fundamental and political environment in the United States, right? We have this kind of movement here, which is very weighed on it weigh very on the movement of the dollar. So I can duplicate it, right? So we can have those kind of things like for reported, right? So we can have those kind of technical pattern, but as it might be confirmed eventually as the time that the news evolve on the United States, right? So actually now I'm still neutral or bearish on the US dollar index. So let's go to the USD CAD. So at the USD CAD also, if you see carefully, I will put some like at the daily observation. So we evolved here on the a long channel, right? So the particularity of channels, guys, so it's very important to stay focused on it. As long as we do not break any type of channel, we are on it, right? We evolve on this channel. So here is kind of ascending channel. The size of this channel is very steep, right? And also we are in before that in another channel also, right, for kind of lateralization, right? And the weekly demand, as we say here, is on the green zone here. So if you stuck here, because we are on like at the doors of the first channel, the first descending channel, we know that descending channel as usual to going at the top statistically. And also as long we stay below that, we probably doing a pullback or correction until the historical POC, which is the point of control, is testing this line. It's worked a lot since 1994. So That being said, that if we stay below this, like right here, you might probably stay like away on the graph, probably like be neutral. But if we break it, for sure, if we break it here, we're probably going to test a new high, which is the first one would be like $32 to 60, and probably others like $32 800 or 33 probably, right? But if we stuck here, if you're an intraday, for sure you can tempted to shorten the correction on until here. But if we break it, the like $30, 40, 50, as I mentioned to my previous analysis that I wrote on the trading view, you can find it, that I talk about like the twin brothers title on the USD card. I tell you that if we break, if we close above $34 450, sorry, we probably have some like a bullish bias. But if we break it below that, below the line, the white line here, and we close below that, we probably get a sell-off movement, right? So this is very important. This, like the trend, the trend, the trend changed one time, but it could also revival several times, right? So as long that we stay below this like this steep channel, don't trying to to short this pattern. You can do scalping for sure, like sell here until here, probably, or until here, and then get out of the market. But this zone here is definitely a neutral zone, right? But the signal will be when if we break it here on the top, or if we break it the POC, the like the $30, 40, 150. Okay, so let's go to the Dow Jones. So Dow Jones also is the same song. We got a sell-off. We break it this channel, and after we reintegrate it, so that'll be like a reinforce a bullish signal. And here is again the weekly demand over here, right? This zone here. So we stuck over here with the market just looking for where it potentially goes, right? So that being said, as long that we see the politics, and as long as we see again the comments of the Federal Reserve, they do it like a tweak comment about potential hiking rate interest or hawkish comment, it could potentially affecting the Dow Jones, as because we are probably on the warming index. If you would, we can have another rally, bullish bull run for sure, but we have to be definitely break the top of this weekly demand, right? But if we stuck here, or we just lateralization here, or probably we doing a range over there, it could be probably a range, and then we just looking to break it, and then we can have a sell-off movement. So that's very important if you are intraday, to not like play around this zones here. At the end of this broadcast, I will show you where it is the technical level that you have to be careful with that. Okay, so very pay attention to this level. When you do not have to play around here. Just be patient and waiting that we break at least this level here, which is 25,230, right, or 240. This zone here is very important. But when we stuck here, just let the Dow Jones play himself, and just waiting about like a nice signal. All right. So let's see the gold too. So here, as we see the gold is also the same song. So the gold, we break it again, this range here. We're probably doing a pullback to test the top of the range, right? At the 12.10, right? 12.10. And you can, it could be like a nice opportunity to buy, because I already wrote an article also on TradingView as the Frank Belfort, if you follow me, as the, when you see here this this banner GSTA, I told you guys that the dollar is very, it works well with the fall, right? The fall period, the dollar historically has been like great performing, as around 77% in the time. So as we stay also below this weekly demand, could be in a correction, like until this level at the top of the on this range. It looks it pretty much looks at the euro dollar, right? The real dollar in weekly, it's probably the same pattern that we see here. We break it the range on the top, and we could get some pullback before to getting into buy opportunity. But if we doing kind of a quick reversal, just waiting that we break a 12.28 before to get entry into buy opportunity, right? Because if we take a look carefully again on the gold, you probably see kind of this pattern, kind of this pattern here, just to let you know that, right? So it looks pretty, looks pretty much at the a pennant, right? A pennant is a kind of flag, right? Is a bullish impulsion, a contraction between this triangle, and then we get out on the top to continuing the movement. So it's a pretty much that we carefully that we're looking for. So very careful with the gold right now. Let the market probably doing his pullback, the correction, because when he break that before, he didn't doing it, just like stuck below the weekly demand here, and then is probably going to test this level here, over here, test this level, and then probably getting into the top, right? So we're watching for the gold. So let's finish with the bond. So the bond here, it's over, like at the daily we saw like a gap. So that's why I wrote here filing this gap, and we got some like a gap, and we doing a double bottom pattern here, right? And that's what I told you before. This is the neckline over here. So as long as we stay below this zone, don't trying to buy Eurobond, right? You're just waiting that if we going on the top and we fail here, you can just short the bond each time that we stop below here, right? Because this is a very powerful gapping. Look at the amplitude and the wide. It's very important, and we are on daily, right? So that being said, very careful with your bond. If I'm putting into like the weekly, looks, that's this sell-off movement. So that's very important to take account the pressure, the downward pressure on this this pattern. So don't trying to buy the Eurobond at that time. Just waiting about like a test or like a failing on the neckline, and then short it again. Or if we break it the neckline, then we can buy to going long, right? To have the recover this sell-off movement. I can go into intraday like in 4 hours, and you will see probably like again a channel here, right? If I'm putting like this, right? So let's say something like that, okay? Right, order, right? So this is a channel. Of course, this is a long run channel, but if we going again here and we fail, feel free to short. Don't try to by this movement. We have to we have to getting a confirmation to break this neckline, and then we can buy this level to going to recover this gap right here. Okay, so it's all of that that I would like to let you know. So let's see the recap of the fundamental. So as a fundamental recap in front of you guys, at the USD card in short term 1 week, we have also the Jamal Khashoggi case on the, which is a kind of bullish bias on the short on the USD card, but in Dow Jones is a bearish effect, right? Because as you know, um, like the Khashoggi affairs is gaining more and more importance, and diplomatic relationship between United States and also and Canada, also between Saudi Arabia, and it's beginning to deteriorate seriously on the side as these country which were formerly allies, right? Because this journalist is in question. It posed a threat for Mohammed bin Salman and at his power. So as he was severely criticized, any action to which and it was fiercely opposed. So that's why he was murdered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, and he was previously in exile in the United States and published in the Washington Post, right? So that's why his murder is a kind of obstacle to freedom and democracy. For that's why the United States interpreted. So very careful with this case, and as the more and more that we saw a deterioration, it could be kind of tension on United States, and it gets some bullish bias, and with also the promise of Donald Trump to support middle income earners with his tax program. This is a bearish bias because he wants for sure that the US dollar must be low to do that. Plus, again, Fed tightening policy and hawkish perspective of the Fed, which is the bullish bias. So on a Canada, we have also an inflation tumble and retail seed deception, which is a bearish bias. And Canadian government also still praise the USMCA agreement as a good thing, which is I'm not perceiving as well the same, which is for me is a potentially is a great scam, right? But they doing like a positive communication, so it's a kind of attractive for investor to buy the loony. So all of that, it's if you're doing like a simplistic calculus mathematics, which is like minus on minus, which is equal plus for the USD CAD. So it would probably a bullish momentum on USD CAD. But as long as we break again the green rectangle, then you can buy on the top of the on the USD CAD. Sorry, and also on the Dow Jones short term 1 week is also the same case as I described. I just closed the political bracket, but of course Jamal Khashoggi case, which is a bearish effect, and the promise for midterm of the Donald Trump also, plus the Fed tightening policy, it's also giving some a bearish momentum on the Dow Jones right now, actually. So here is like others fundamental recap as a goal, as I told you before, with the seasonally effect October, and also for the bond. Also, this is the potentially regards for the real bond before to take any type of position, right? You have to care about that. So let's finish with that. So at the technical recap, you have this zone here that I draw for you in green, like the $31 350 and $31,010. You have to be stay neutral between that, and this signal strategy. If you break it, then you can buy seriously, as I mentioned. And if you break it again at the below that at the $31.10, then short a corrective movement or pullback if you want to intraday or if you do scalping. But if you day trader, you have to waiting until the $34 450, then you can have a massive sell-off, right? So here are all of strategy that I described to you for the asset. That will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can see on the replay to take a note on the recap. And I kindly recommend you to subscribe to my if you want to see other strategy and others also point of view of markets. I kindly recommend you to follow me on the Trading View, also to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also to my Facebook page, which is GSTA Global Street Trader Academy, or on Frank Belfort at the Twitter or Trading View. Thank you so much. Was François Ablé, and I see you around to the next financial program. Bye-bye.